What's the dentist knows you haven't flossed of other professions? Story 1. In music lessons, the teacher always knows how much you practiced. They're mostly polite about it since you're paying them. And kind of a side note, if you teach lessons, always start off by asking what they worked on this week. Also, try to have them play stuff they listen to. My bass teacher did this and it worked so well. I had multiple teachers up until that point. He was my second bass teacher and he always focused on what I wanted to learn first. You want to play Primus and Green Day? Okay, let's do it. He was great. I felt like I could be honest with him when he asked me about me practicing. To be honest though, I was way more dedicated than most kids. Not all dentists are nice about you not flossing either. Story 2. IT guy knows you didn't try turning it off and on again. Oh dear, really? Please don't tell me that because this is something I always say if I've ever got an issue at work with my laptop. I phone the IT guys or message them on Teams or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, guys, come check out my laptop. Honestly, it's just ridiculous. It's fully broken. They're like, have you turned it on and off again? I'm like, yeah, of course I have. That's the first thing I would have thought of, duh. But I didn't. And I'm really hoping they don't know. Wait, can they see? Really making me think now. Story 3. Your professor knows you sent the wrong file on purpose. Recycled an old research paper, paid someone to write your essay, changed the font size of the punctuation, didn't do the reading, etc. If I haven't confronted you yet, it's because I'm so freaking tired. Story 4. Another IT guy here. Right inside your machine when you swear blind it hasn't been liquid damage. Story 5. When I ask you how you're taking your medicine and you say, like it says on the bottle, but your 1 month supply has lasted 56 days. Story 6. Waxers who know you didn't shower before coming to your appointment. Wait a minute. I'm confused. Why would the waxer need to shower before coming to our appointment? Like, wouldn't I need to shower? If they're waxing my itty-bitty committees, then do you know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't I be the one showering? Also, why did I just say they'll be waxing my chest as if I've got a hairy chest? I am a woman, okay? And I don't have a hairy chest. I meant, if they're waxing your nooks and crannies, let's put it that way. Why would they need to shower? Do you know what I mean? It's me that needs to shower. You don't want a whole lot of dusty mustiness going on. Story 7. So many factories are plagued with button fairies and handle pixies. They come out at night and press buttons and adjust valves. Then when the machine stops working, I get called out and have to reset everything. Nobody's touched the machine yet adjustments have clearly been made. Some factories are infested, but nobody seems to take the problem seriously. Story 8. The auto mechanic knows you didn't change your oil when you were supposed to. Story 9. Everyone had only 2 drinks. Story 10. Magician. I know what card you picked. Don't lie to me and say it wasn't the 7 of spades. You're making us both look like idiots. Story 11. EMS call for unresponsive patient. Walk in, patient's blue in the face, taking about 4 breaths a minute. Me, to bystander. What did he take? Bystander. I think maybe he took an extra Xanax. Me. Wrong. How about heroin? Bystander. Oh, yeah, a whole bunch of heroin. I don't know why it's always Xanax. Alert to all of Ashley's stories, listeners. Please nobody ever take a Xanax. They are very dangerous and addictive. Thank you. Let's continue the video. Guys, wasn't that such a good robot impression? Oh. Story 12. Work in retail. We charge 5 cents for a bag. Person makes large purchase with many items. Me. Will you need a bag? No. Customer pays. Actually, yeah. Give me a bag. I know you just wanted it for free. Yep, guys, have to say, guilty as charged. I do this so much. I don't think we should have to pay for bags. Ridiculous. So I'm not paying, okay? Never. What I do when I'm in Sainsbury's is I'll just pay for all my stuff and then ask for a bag. Go up to the, self-service machines and pretend to scan it. Even if they're looking, they're not really that bothered, are they? It's not coming out of their pockets, And if they kick off, I'll be like, chill out. I will literally give you 10p, mate. Calm down, please. Story 13. Customer. I'd like to use this coupon. Server. That coupon isn't valid for this type of meal. But they let me do it all the time. But they is not me. But I eat here every week. I work here every day. And I know you're lying. Story 14. I work in a bookstore. I always like when someone returns a book and says, I just didn't get a chance to read it. Please, the spine's cracked. You dog-tagged each chapter, and there's a little smudge from where you ate popcorn and then turned the page. So full of lies. Story 15. No, you didn't lose all your diazepam in a house fire again, Mr. Smith. Story 16. IT guy totally knows your browsing history. Don't play dumb. Story 17. Communication professor. I watch critique about 1,200 speeches each academic year. When you've been in class all semester, on time, and have mostly done all your stuff, but on speech day, suddenly you have a major crisis and don't show up. Yeah, I know you're not ready for your speech. Speech day is a day like none other. Grandmas get sick. All dogs have major bouts of rabies and have to go to the vet. Tires suddenly explode. Stomach flu for everyone. It's okay. I know you're nervous. Just show up next week with your stuff together and we'll get it done and get you through this course. Hope your grandma dog tire is okay though. Story 18. The sysadmin can read the logs. The uptime on your machine is 221 days. You didn't reboot it when we told you to do so. So they do know. They do know that we haven't turned the machine off. This has made me just feel really embarrassed for any times that I've told them I had. I'm getting secondhand embarrassment from a situation that was months, maybe even years ago. Wait, is that secondhand embarrassment or is that like prolonged embarrassment? What's the right context here? Cheese? Tell me, because I needs to know, okay? But yeah, embarrassing much? Jeez. Story 19. Pet store guy here. You can tell me you do regular water changes, filter changes, and gravel cleaning on your aquarium, but the test kit doesn't lie to me. No replacement fish for you. Your aquarium has more nitrates in it than a cheap hot dog. Story 20. Lawyer. When I ask people what happened and they mention their rights were violated, I know they have no idea what their rights are. Story 21. X-ray tech. Not supposed to eat anything 4 hours prior to exam. Stomach's full of what I can only imagine is a full-grown cow's worth of burgers. I didn't eat anything at all that day. You know how X-rays work, right? Oh, come on. That's just ridiculous, isn't it? Like, you're getting an X-ray, the whole point is that they can see through your body. They can literally see what you've been eating. You've got to be a right donut to say that, haven't you? I wonder if, like, in an actual X-ray, though, you can, like, fully see in detail the food. Like, imagine if you could just see in there, like, a full-on half-eaten donut, like a roast dinner, like if you could even see the individual peas or the Brussels sprouts. That would be kind of gross, but I'm intrigued. Anyone here a nurse? Can you please tell us? Story 22. Surgical nurse here. If you're having abdominal surgery, just a PSA, clean your nasty belly button. Get some Q-tips and dig in there beforehand and scrub that out. You'd be surprised at what we find in there. I've had to use surgical instruments to dig out nasty brown stuff curds. Clean it out regularly. That stuff doesn't just build up overnight. I've discovered decades worth of crud in y'all's cavernous belly holes. What the frick, people? Story 23. ER docs know how that thing got in your butt. You put it there. That's just fine. We don't care. You can say you fell on it or give an even less plausible account of the events that led to this, but nobody's going to call you out. But we all know. Story 24. HVAC guy knows you don't change your filter every month. Or every 2 months. Or even 3. Chances are good you're still using the same filter we put in when we installed the furnace. Story 25. I know you're the reasons for the viruses on your computer. Your downloads folder's filled with malware installs, so don't try tell me you didn't do it. Story 26. The teacher knows the kids who didn't do their homework. Story 27. Wedding gown fittings. They all say this when their dresses doesn't fit. Every single one of them. If anything, I've lost weight. Obviously you haven't. The dress used to fit, and now it doesn't. Alright, darling, chill out. Cool. I mean, so what if she's put on a couple pounds? Like, we need food. If I'm craving a burger, I'm going to eat a burger. Do you know what I mean? And I think everyone should be the same. Life's too short. I mean, like, obviously be kind of wary of, you know, what you're putting inside your body, but don't be, like, overly sensitive to it because everything's bad for us nowadays, isn't it? Let's be real. It actually is. So if she wants to put on a few pounds, let the lady do it. I know it's for her wedding day or for an event, but still, let the lady do it. You know what I mean? She'll look how she wants to look on her wedding day. She's obviously not overly concerned about her weight, and that's fair enough. So lay off her back. Story 28. Hairdresser. There's no box colour on my hair. It doesn't just wash out or evaporate, and I can see your hair's 2 different colours. I totally use professional products. Ha ha ha. I don't care if you do or don't, but stop lying. Story 29. Chef knows you don't have a gluten allergy when you're okay with soy sauce in your dish. Story 30. Security guard here. No, the other guard doesn't let you. Oh, he does? Well, then he's back on duty in 2 days, so you can wait for him. Story 31. The debate moderator realizes you have no idea what the nuclear triad is. Nerd. Story 32. Physiotherapists totally know you didn't do the exercises they told you to do between consultations. I pulled something in my lower back last year doing deadlifts and went to see one to get fixed up. She recommended I stop all the lifts that hit that general area and gave me a simple 20 to 80 minute exercise routine to help with recovery. Needless to say, I didn't do either of those things because I'm dumb. When I went back the second time, she asked if I had done those things. And when I delivered what I felt was an Oscar-worthy, yeah, she just sighed. Story 33. Ophthalmologist assistant here. You can lie to me all you want about taking your pressure-lowering drops all you want for the glaucoma you have. Once he tests your pressures, he'll see through you. I ask you every time you come in about what drops you're taking, and if you're taking them like you should, and you keep lying to me, then you complain your sight's failing and try to blame it on your glasses not being strong enough and how the optometrist gave you the wrong prescription. Really? If you have glaucoma, take those pressure-lowering drops, or you will have optic disc damage and vision loss. Man, oh man, quit lying to me. I ask you the name of your drops and you can't even tell me, though you say you've been taking them for years. Listen, old lady, you're not fooling any of us. You better have the name of the drops memorized by now, because you're not pulling the wool over anyone's eyes but your own if you keep this up. Phew, that felt good. Carry on. Yes, honey, you let it out. Let it all out. That's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for, okay? So everyone can just let out their emotions in the comments, or, just have a relaxing moment going through the video and resetting after work or in the morning or wherever you might be, in the gym, listening to me, relaxing, just letting off some steam, We are a nice gang here. We're a good crew here at Ashley Stories. We just like to chill and listen to some funny stories, and I like to give my opinion and say far too much to people I don't know, but that's just who we are. That's what we're about here. So, you carry on, okay? I hope that felt good for you. Just vent, honey. Vent. Story 34. Sits in exit row. Doesn't read the safety cards. Agrees to hero duties. Story 35. Accountant here. We know you won't budge till the last minute to come to us for tax filing, no matter how much you swear that you'll do it early next time. Story 36. Former personal banker. We know you're buying drugs. Story 37. My dog stopped eating 2 days ago. Dog is skin and bones. Life of a vet. Story 38. The carpenter knows the wind didn't damage the doors. Looking at you, master of anger management, Dad. And sadly, I'm not even better. Story 39. Garden centre employee knows when the plant died because you didn't water it. Story 40. The range safety officer and everyone else on the line knows darn well that your firearm did not just go off on its own. You're a moron that didn't unload and make safe when you should have, didn't engage your safety, and didn't keep your darn fingers away from the trigger. And you're just lucky that you didn't actually hit anyone, or you'd be in a lot more trouble than you already are. Story 41. Dietitian knows when you've been cheating on your diet. Story 42. I'm a body piercer. If you come in with an infected piercing and say you never touch it, but then proceed to touch it while telling me that, I know that you touch it. Story 43. Your dog or cat groomer knows that you don't really brush them every day when you bring them in matted all over. We also know it didn't just happen when they got out last night. We can tell the difference between weeks of matting and some tangles from an excursion. Story 44. Lawyer here. I know you're lying. Seriously, you're bad at it. Story 45. In my field as a welder of jet engine parts, the inspectors know when a welder gets lazy when they x-ray the part and see heat marks on the backside. That's usually brought on when they don't use backing shielding gas and the backside gets contaminated. Story 46. I work in a lab testing blood. We get diabetics, particularly teenagers, who didn't stick to their diet for the weeks before a nurse's appointment, but are good for a day or two before. So their glucose levels are fine on the finger prick tests. That's why we do HbA1c levels, which measure your average glucose levels over a longer period. So yes, we know when you aren't sticking to... Okay, to be fair, I think the world's a lot smarter than I thought it was, because people actually know things, don't they? When you think you're being smart, you think they haven't got a clue. People do actually know. And this is kind of like a scary realization for me, because I'm like the classic person that will always try and get away with things, thinking that, no one will ever notice and this will just slide on by. But now I should probably begin to think about what it is that I'm saying to people. Story 47. Graphic designer here. When I've asked you for a high-res version of your logo, I can totally tell that you've gone on Google Images. Also, when you ask me to drop an image in your ad or whatever else, I totally know if you've stolen it from Google Images. Story 48. Student radiographer here. When you come into A&E after punching something or someone and tell us you fell onto your hand, we can tell it's a punching injury. Story 49. Dominatrix. I know when you've been a bad boy. Story 50. The GameStop employee knows that game doesn't play fine. They also know when you've stolen those games from a red box or library. Story 51. IT guy knows you didn't get that virus randomly and knows your search history includes Selena Gomez naked. Damn. Wasn't me. Story 52. This might be hard to relate to depending on your interaction with chimney sweepers. Now bear with me. I'll try and do this with the correct terms and words, not an English chimney sweeper. But the most fun and futile thing for a customer when I ask them, so there's more tar than there is soot. Have you been burning anything you shouldn't? Note, there are all sorts of plastic containers and other assorted non-fireplace materials ready to be burned. The answer you get is usually something like, no, we just use the dry enough wood and we usually close the air intake so it doesn't burn too. So now we have a recipe for doing everything wrong while using your fireplace. I try to explain the dangers of having a fire inside the chimney. Tar has good energy value. Most times you just get ignored and told they know what they're doing. In this particular case, the house sadly burned down and the owner tried to make a case against me. Long story short, the chimney sweeper will know if you're using your fireplace correctly, and try and listen to advice or your house may just burn down. Been a sweeper for almost 10 years. Story 53. Retail workers know when you've worn the clothes you're trying to return, and they also know when you're trying to return something you shouldn't. Too old or faulty because your long fake nails ripped a hole in it, etc. Stop trying to fool me, Karen. You're faker than your ratty extensions. Oops, lol. I feel, personally attacked, I can't lie. I've definitely done this before. I told you guys about my holiday to Budapest, didn't I? I definitely bought a two-piece from Amazon, jumped in wearing my two-piece into the pool, into the hot tub, spilt gosh knows what down it, and I returned it, but guess what? They didn't know. I fooled the system because they refunded me. So you're not right, honey. Okay? Story 54. French teacher here. I know you used Google Translate. Story 55. When I was in banking, we knew what a poach.com really was on your credit card statement. Story 56. New vascularization of your cornea from contact lens overwear. So you take your contacts out every night, huh? Story 57. I think this is similar. Anyways, I'm a lifeguard, and I always hear parents tell their kids, the lifeguard knows when you pee in the pool. Truth be told, I actually don't know, nor care, but it's funny. Okay, but guys, is it true that in America, you have like a blue liquid that if you wee in a swimming pool, it turns blue. So people, like everyone there knows that you've weed in the pool. Because I must have seen this somewhere on like an American TV show or something. And I was horrified because I was like, oh my days, if we had this in England, I would be known for who I really am. A pool weer. Genuinely, a pool weer. So please someone let me know if this is like an American thing, or was this just on the one program that I had watched that happened to be American? But yeah, I'm curious. Story 58. The teacher knows your parents did your project. Story 59. Stop going to corn sites at work. IT guy. Story 60. I'm a prop maker, and I guess this is a long shot, but when you lend out one of your tools to someone and forbid them to do one thing, and it comes back and you can see they went and did it. One example, I lent stupidly my favourite wood plane out to someone and told him to only use it on the pine he was working on and nothing else. Turned out he tried to use it thin down the side of a poo door he made too big to make it fit. Some set he was making, I think, and he hit a load of brad nails and totally ruined the blade. Please like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of this video and have a wonderful day. Story 61. Unrelated, but dentist trick. My dentist told me that it takes 2 weeks for gums to recover from bacteria buildup. So if you spend 2 weeks before your dental appointment flossing every day, they may not be able to tell you aren't consistently flossing. Story 62. Bartender. I've only had 2 drinks. Okay, but you're slurring when you said that and have to hold the bar to stand up. Plus you've spilled some on your shirt. How about a water, mate? Ha, well. Guys, this is a classic. We've all tried this one, haven't we? We've all been far too smashed and tried to get more drink. I think that one's a Captain Obvious, to be fair. This is one thing I will never stop doing, okay? Even if I know I'm too drunk, I'm still trying. I'm still trying to get what I can. Some people see you're too drunk, though, and still serve you, which is kind of funny, but also kind of dangerous now I'm thinking about it. But yeah, some people would just be like, here you go, have what you want. Story 63. When I worked in tech support for internet, TV, and home phone, and had a guy call and claim he was a software engineer, right? And normally doesn't need tech support for obvious reasons. Okay, guy, whatever. Enjoy your solo peeing contest, but in the meantime, how can I help with your internet, TV, and home phone related needs? I actually don't have time to validate your probably made up career choices. I ended up needing to release/renew his IP address, which should be a relatively simple process. For a frickin' software engineer. The guy had no idea what I was talking about, right? And when I told him I needed to help him release and renew his IP address, he very confidently informed me that doing so was impossible and I didn't know how to do my job. I assured him I knew what I was doing and asked him to open a command window. He got flustered and tried to say something that just came out as sputtering nonsense and hung up. Good luck with your career, guy. You go engineer those softwares. Story 64. IT for retail website. When you call in stating you've been wronged in some slight way and claim you've been ordering from us for years, Mother fricker, do you not realise that I have the history of every customer order since the beginning of time at my fingertips? This is your first order and you are being a butthole. His complaint? The post office didn't deliver to his house because he put a suite number on the shipping label, so they were holding it at the post office for pickup. Why did he do that? Because he works from home and didn't want his clients to think he worked from home. So his bright idea was to put a suite number on his address. And because of this, it was my darn problem that UPS system can't deliver his order. The guy refused to go to the post office to get his package and was demanding a refund. You bumhole. Not happening. I can tell you already aren't going to be a returning customer. Story 65. Did some work as a carpenter and general handyman and I knew what to build them. I'd ask them stuff like, when was the last time you treated the fence, outdoor table and chairs with any varnish or tea? Or what condition's the item in? Answer was usually, we do it every summer. Or, good, but we just want it looking nicer. And then I'd rock up with my stuff to see rotten chairs and tables with fences falling down. They then would kick off about me charging more than I would estimate on the phone. Very quickly stop quoting beforehand and would just wait and see the damage. Yes, 100% never quote beforehand. That is just a rookie error. Because you're always going to get those people that are like, oh, that's a bit different to quote, isn't it? Like, I feel like that's kind of like an olden day thing, like an olden day process. But yeah, never quote beforehand because you're setting yourself up for the worst. You genuinely are. Story 66. Band teacher knows you didn't practice. You didn't get better at anything. Your endurance is rubbish. Your range is rubbish. Your finger dexterity is rubbish. Your articulation's rubbish. Your intonation's rubbish. You take forever to put the instrument together. You forgot how to put the instrument together. You can't even remember how to open the instrument case, and you can't even remember that you left the case at school. Story 67. I have a friend who works in a piercing studio, and this lady wanted her naughty pierced, but it was so full of cheese she couldn't locate it. She asked her to come back after a shower. No, stop. I'm actually going to be sick. What do you mean it was filled with cheese? What? I thought cheese was what men get around their deeds, not women. What on earth is women cheese? Oh, stop. I actually feel queasy. Story 68. Your midwife knows you smoked during pregnancy. Your placenta doesn't lie. Story 69. The waitress knows you're on drugs. There's probably a betting pool in the wait station on which drugs. We especially know when you're stoned out your mind and trying to call in a go-to order. We take bets on whether or not you're too stoned to pick it up yourself. Story 70. Tree cutting. When I look at the trees of our city and they have their branches cut in the middle, which makes the tree stick out on the long run because it can't heal that, the city tells us everyone knows what they're doing. Either you're cruel buttholes who don't want trees, or you don't know what you're doing. Story 71. Tech support. Customer. My internet isn't working. Me. Did you reboot the router? Customer. Yeah, several times. Your service is down. Me. I'm sorry, let me just see what I can do about that. Browse Reddit for long enough to seem like I did something. Okay, I've made some changes on our end. Please reboot the router again. Hey, it works now. Story 72. My girlfriend works in an adult video and toy store. You can tell her that you're buying stuff for a joke for your friend, and she'll smile and nod. But she knows. She knows. Can't lie. Guilty as charged. And the fact that they know is very embarrassing. No, I'm joking. I think it was something really PG anyway, but yeah, that's funny. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos coming daily.